Okay, class. So let's move on to our in-class practice questions. So let me share. So if you go to Blackboard, there is actually mortality rate in-class practice questions. So please download this, and then we're gonna working on these mortality rate practice questions. Actually, I strongly recommend you guys actually working on this by yourself first, and then you can look at this video and to check it out your answers, right? Yeah, so please check it out this one after you working on your assignment after this, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. So let's working on the practice in-class mortality rate questions. So, number one, what is the following fractions? Number of deaths from all causes in a year over number of persons in the population and mid-year times constants. Probably you remember this one, right? You cannot forget about it, right? Yeah. So which one? Yes. The answer should be, oh my God. Answer should be annual crude mortality rate, right? Annual crude mortality rate. So number of deaths from all causes, so total number of deaths, right? And then number of populations in a mid years, right? Yeah. So answer should be D. Okay, moving on to number two. Which of the following mortality rates use the estimate total mid-year population? So total population, which ones actually use the total populations as its denominators, which is the bottoms, right? Yeah. So age-specific mortality rate, we use the total populations? No, we use the total population for a certain age groups, right? So age-specific mortality rate is not correct. And sex-specific mortality rate, so we didn't talk about this one, but actually this one is kind of the same as age-specific mortality rate. So we need to use the total population for a certain genders, female, total population for female or males or something like that. So that is the sex-specific mortality rate. And annual crude mortality rate, yes, annual crude mortality rate actually use the total populations, right? How about cause-specific mortality rate? Yes, we use the total populations too, right? What is the difference between cause-specific mortality rate and case fatality rate? Yes, cause-specific mortality rates actually use total populations, whereas case fatality rates actually use the total number of deaths from a specific disease, right? Yeah, total number of deaths. Total number of people with a specific disease, right? So that is the case fatality rate in the bottom as denominators, right? Yeah. So answers should be C and D. What is the following fraction in number question 3? Number of deaths due to the all causes among men ages 65, 74. Estimate number of men aged 65 to 74 years alive on July 1st. So which one? Sex specific? No. Cause specific? No. Age adjusted mortality rate? No. Which will be working on in the next chapters. So the answer should be age-specific mortality rate. So as you can see, age-specific mortality, so these certain age groups, right? Yeah. Okay, so moving on to next two questions. Table 1, number of deaths due to the Alzheimer's disease and pneumonia influenza United States 2002. Using these informations, so using only the data shown above the deaths attributed to the Alzheimer's disease and to pneumonia and influenza, which measures can be calculated? So which measures can be calculated using this information? Proportionated mortality rate. So here is the age group. So let's get it. Here is the age group. And then here is the number of deaths from each disease, right? Yeah. Proportionated mortality rate. Proportionated. We need to have number of deaths. So we actually have a total number of deaths for this, right? But we do not have information about total deaths from all causes in this table, right? So we cannot use proportionated mortalities, okay? Let's look at the C first. Age specimen mortality rate. Probably I think that many students actually say yes about this C, age specimen mortality rate. But my answer is not correct. Why? We actually had a total number of deaths from a certain age groups, right? For Alzheimer's disease and pneumonia. But in order to get the age specimen mortality rate, what do we need? What do we need to have? Actually, total number of population for that certain age specific populations, certain age groups. So in order to calculate age specific mortality rate for this age group, and we have this information that's from this each disease in this age groups, but we do not have information about the population for these age groups, right? So that's why we cannot calculate the age-specific mortality rate, right? Yeah. Mortality rate ratio, no year of potential life lost. So we didn't learn about this. But look at the cause-specific mortality rate. So cause-specific mortality rate, so we need to have actually, so this one. Cause-specific mortalities, number of deaths from a specific disease, right? Disease over what is this formula in the bottom denominator? Total populations. Right? So that is the cause-specific mortality rate and times constant, right? But here, number of deaths from a specific disease. Yes, we have this number. Yes, good. And then do we have a total population? Yes, here we have a total populations for these questions, right? So that's why using this data, we can calculate only cause-specific mortality rate. So answer should be B. Okay, so please keep in mind this and then look at this data and information. And then you probably think about what kind of information we need to have to calculate the each mortality rate. And then you can actually figure out, okay, so we can get cause-space mortality rate using this data. Okay, yeah, good. The last question. Using data shown above the deaths attributed to the Alzheimer's disease and pneumonia implant, calculate the cause-space mortality rate for both diseases separately per 1,000 people. So we actually talk about this, right? Yeah. So Alzheimer's disease, the total population, total number of deaths from this disease, 58,866 over total populations. We got this number, right? And then times 10,000 constant. So we got okay, and then influenza. So total number of deaths from this disease, 65, right? And 81 over same total populations. Should be right? Equals. So we got this number for this, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is for our in-class practice questions. So hopefully you guys understand. So the formula for each mortality rate and then what kind of information you need to have to calculate the each types of mortality rate. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you.